For decades, he was Hollywood's silent warrior. A man whose fists and feet spoke louder than any words he ever said on screen. Chuck Norris became a global icon of unshakable strength, a symbol of justice, and a legend whose toughness became the stuff of internet folklore. But even legends have their limits. So, what if the stoic warrior finally broke his silence? Now, at 85, a rumor has resurfaced the story of a secret list. A personal Hollywood blacklist with the 5 actors Chuck Norris could supposedly never respect, let alone forgive. It's important to state up front, there is no credible evidence that Chuck Norris has ever publicly released or confirmed such a list. These stories are the product of Hollywood whispers, industry rumors, and speculation. But the reasons these rumors persist are fascinating, pointing to real-life conflicts, professional disagreements, and clashes of honor that go far beyond typical celebrity drama. To understand why these 5 names always pop up, you first have to understand the man himself. Carlos Ray Chuck Norris was born in Oklahoma into a life that was anything but easy. His tough childhood shaped him into a quiet, introverted young man. It wasn't until he joined the Air Force and was stationed in South Korea that he found his calling. It was there he got the nickname Chuck and discovered martial arts training in Tang Soo Do. This wasn't just a hobby. It gave him a code built on discipline, integrity, and unwavering respect. After becoming a world champion martial artist, he founded his own discipline, Chen Kuk-do, or the Universal Way. Part of its code of ethics says it all. I will look for the good in all people and make them feel worthwhile. I have nothing good to say about a person, I will say nothing. For decades, he lived by that rule, a man of quiet conviction in a world of loud egos. He valued loyalty to his country, his family, and his principles above all else. So, for his name to be attached to any hate list suggests the rumored offenses weren't just minor slights. They were violations of his most fundamental beliefs. Today, we're exploring those rumors and the stories behind them. First up on this rumored blacklist is a name that seems almost predictable: Alec Baldwin. It's no secret that his and Norris's political views are polar opposites. But to chalk this up to a simple Republican versus Democrat feud would be missing the point. For Chuck Norris, the rumored issue wasn't just about politics, it was about patriotism. The source of the alleged animosity is Baldwin's famous portrayal of Donald Trump on Saturday Night Live. While millions laughed, Norris, a vocal supporter of Republican candidates, reportedly saw something else entirely. The rumor is that he didn't just see a comedian mocking a politician. He saw a powerful Hollywood elite mocking the office of the presidency itself. While there's no direct statement from Norris confirming this, he has written columns criticizing what he views as Hollywood's dismissive attitude towards traditional American values. He once warned against the detrimental effect that mocking national leaders can have on the country's unity. Many interpreted these critiques as veiled shots at Baldwin's performance. For a man like Norris, whose entire brand is built on a sincere respect for authority and country, Baldwin's satire may have felt like a form of cultural warfare. While there's no record of a personal confrontation between the two, their feud is one of ideology, played out on a public stage. It's a clash between 2 versions of Hollywood: Baldwin, the actor using his craft for political satire, and Norris, the patriot who sees such displays as corrosive. The speculation is that Norris saw Baldwin's impersonation as the work of an arrogant, out-of-touch Hollywood, landing him squarely on this supposed blacklist. It wasn't about a person, it was about the principle. The 4th name on this alleged list, Shia LaBeouf, points to a different kind of conflict, not of politics, but of professionalism. The story here is rooted in a supposed on-set encounter, but it's crucial to note that this is entirely fictional. There is no record of Chuck Norris and Shia LaBeouf ever working together. Still, the rumor persists because it highlights the massive gap between old-school Hollywood and the new generation. The fabricated story goes that the two were hired for A commercial in the late 2010s. It was a study in contrasts. Norris, quiet professional, and LaBeouf, the poster child for erratic method acting. On set, Norris was reportedly appalled by LaBeouf's behavior, seeing it as attention-seeking and disrespectful to the crew. For Norris, who believes a set should run with the precision of a dojo, LaBeouf's alleged conduct was a cardinal sin. His code emphasizes making every person feel worthwhile, from the star to the production assistant. Fueling this fictional feud, a rumor circulated that Norris once posted and then deleted a message on Facebook that read, "Fame without discipline is chaos." Though LaBeouf wasn't named, people immediately connected the dots given his public scandals. While the story of them working together is false, the reason it sticks is because it represents a true clash of eras. Norris comes from a time when stars were expected to be dependable and professional. LaBeouf is a product of a modern era that sometimes confuses personal turmoil with artistic genius. For a man who built his legacy on control and inner strength, the idea of someone like Shia LaBeouf represented chaos, earning him a spot on a list that, even if imaginary, makes a certain kind of sense. The reported animosity between Chuck Norris and the late David Carradine is one of the most complex rumors rooted in martial arts authenticity and Norris's loyalty to his friend, the one and only Bruce Lee. The conflict supposedly traces back to the 1970s and the casting of the TV series Kung Fu. The lead role was famously conceived for Bruce Lee, a true master, but in a move that's still criticized. Today, the studio cast David Carradine, a white actor with almost no martial arts background. For the martial arts community, this was a slap in the face. Norris and Lee were friends who had trained together and shared an iconic fight scene in Way of the Dragon. Norris had seen Lee's genius firsthand. To see him passed over for an actor who, in his view, was just playing dress-up was a profound insult. While audiences were captivated by Carradine's slow-motion movements, many true martial artists, supposedly including Norris, saw it as a clumsy imitation. Years later, Norris and Carradine co-starred in the 1983 film Lone Wolf McQuade. The director Steve Carver even noted that the two literally didn't like each other. While there's no proof of genuine hatred, Norris did publicly comment on the professional difficulties. He explained that choreographed world of Kung Fu lacked the control for safe on-screen combat and had even injured stuntmen. Norris said he had to be hyper-aware during their fight scenes because Carradine's kicks could be wild and dangerous. This on-set experience likely solidified Norris's view. David Carradine came to symbolize Hollywood's disrespect for the soul of martial arts and a stolen opportunity for his friend, making him a prime candidate for this legendary list. Nearing the top of the list, we find another action icon, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Their rumored rivalry wasn't just about competing for roles. It was a clash of personality, philosophy, and, according to one of Hollywood's most famous legends, a direct challenge that broke the code of respect. Early in his career, Van Damme reportedly worked as a bouncer at a bar owned by Norris, and the two even sparred together. But as Van Damme's star rose, so did rumors of tension. Van Damme's flashy party boy lifestyle was the polar opposite of Norris's clean living principles. Norris reportedly saw Van Damme's acrobatic style as spectacle over substance and actor who kicks, rather than a fighter who acts. But the incident that supposedly cemented this feud is pure Hollywood lore. The story is an unsubstantiated rumor, but it's a good one. It allegedly took place at a party at Norris's own home. In front of everyone, a bold Jean-Claude Van Damme supposedly challenged Norris to a real fight to see who was the true champion. In the world of martial arts, a challenge like that in a man's home is a massive sign of disrespect. It's an arrogant violation of hospitality and humility. Norris's reaction wasn't anger, but cold disappointment. He refused to engage, but the damage was done. The line had been crossed. Years later, when both were cast in The Expendables 2, crew members described the on-set atmosphere as icy. It was said that Norris would never greet Van Damme directly. Whether the fight challenge actually happened or not, the rumor captures. The core of their alleged conflict was about character. In Norris's world, respect is earned. And Van Damme's supposed act of arrogance earned him a permanent spot near the top of this Hollywood blacklist. And here we are, the #1 spot. His name might be the least famous in Hollywood, but in the martial arts world that forged Chuck Norris, it's the most significant. This isn't a story about on-set egos or politics. It's a story of brotherhood and a painful alleged betrayal. The man who reportedly holds the top spot is Joe Louis. Before the fame, Norris and Joe Louis were pioneers and friends. They came up together in the golden age of American karate in the 1960s. Two of the greatest point fighters of their generation. Bruce Lee himself once called Louis the greatest karate fighter of his time. They were rivals in the ring, but respected brothers in arms outside of it. Then Hollywood came calling for Norris. As his fame exploded, his old friend and rival, Joe Louis, reportedly grew resentful. The betrayal, as the story goes, was public. Louis began openly criticizing Norris, accusing him of selling out and abandoning martial arts for fame. He questioned Norris's skills and integrity. While professional disagreements between rivals are common, there's no public record of Norris ever declaring Louis as someone he hated or could never forgive. Still, the rumor persists that for Norris, this was the ultimate act of treason. His life's work was being publicly tarnished by a man who knew the sacrifices he'd made. The friendship was shattered. Norris, true to his style, didn't engage in a public war of words. He simply cut off contact. According to those who knew them, it was one of the few conflicts he ever took personally, because of a bruised ego, but because of a broken bond. The others on this list may have offended his principles, but Joe Louis in this telling betrayed loyalty itself. The pain of this fallout wasn't a Hollywood drama. It was a deep personal tragedy, and the reason he's at the top of this rumored list. But now we have to ask, what do you think? After hearing the stories behind these rumored feuds, do you think there's some fire to all this smoke? Or is this just a case of Hollywood gossip getting out of hand? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by the hidden stories of Hollywood legends, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video. So there you have it. The 5 names that make up Chuck Norris's rumored Hollywood blacklist. Alec Baldwin, Shia LaBeouf, David Carradine, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and his former friend, Joe Louis. As we've seen, this list, whether real or imagined, was never about petty arguments. Each name represents a supposed violation of a core piece of the Chuck Norris code. With Alec Baldwin, it was a perceived disrespect for the nation. With Shia LaBeouf, a disregard for professionalism. With David Carradine, a betrayal of martial arts authenticity and loyalty to a friend. With Jean-Claude Van Damme, an alleged act of profound arrogance. And with Joe Louis, it's the ultimate sin in Norris's book, the betrayal of a brotherhood for most of his life. Chuck Norris lived by his code. If I have nothing good to say about a person, I will say nothing. He built a legacy on integrity, discipline, and honor. The persistence of this rumored list serves as a powerful reflection of those principles. In the end, it isn't really about who Chuck Norris hated. It's a testament to a man who navigated the treacherous waters of Hollywood, and it highlights the principles he simply refused to compromise.